I know the Brazilian fans will be very disappointed if their team don't go on to win the 2019 Copa America. What's up, Rich Squad? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy, Dominic Rich, and I'm here to do match reviews for the second round of Group A fixtures in the 2019 Copa America. We had Brazil playing Venezuela. That match ended in a 0-0 draw. And we had Peru taking on Bolivia. They defeated them 3-1. So after two matches, we have Brazil at the top, 4 points, Peru second, 4 points, Venezuela third, 2 points, and Bolivia at the bottom without a point. It's fair to say that Bolivia is all but knocked out of the competition. Remember guys, the winners and runners-up goes through to the second round, and also the best two third-place teams. So if Venezuela pick up a win versus Bolivia, which I think they're capable of doing, they could book themselves a place in the quarterfinals. Something that they have already done, of course, but they are one of the only teams to have never won the Copa America. Is this their year? We never know, we shall see. So guys, let's start with the Bolivia versus Peru fixture. Bolivia 1, Peru 3. That was the 51st meeting with Bolivia and Peru, with Peru winning 26 games, Bolivia winning 13, and 12 games ending in draws. For this match, Bolivia's Eduardo Villegas went in with a 4-4-1 formation. We had Lampe in goal, Berejano, Jusino, Haquin, and the other Berejino in the defense. Further ahead, we had Saavedra, who had a horrible game, Justiniano, Salcedo, and Chumacero. Up top, we had Castro, and ahead of him, Marcelo Moreno. We saw Vaca, Alvarez, and Fernandez coming off the bench. For Ricardo Gareca, he plays a 4-2-3-1 formation. We had Pedro Gales in goal, we had Advincula, Zambrano, Traco, and Abram at the back. Ahead of them, we had Yuton and Renato Tapia, Andy Polo, Jefferson Farfan, and Christian Cueva just ahead of those two players, and the lone man up top, Paulo Guerrero. Coming off the bench, we saw Arroyo, Flores, and Gonzalez. The game started out with Peru bossing the possession, but they didn't create any meaningful chances to really bother the Bolivian defense. Peru's first glimpse at goal came when Jefferson Farfan's free kick was put wide. And completely against the run of play, Bolivia went forward and got themselves a lucky penalty. The attacker smashed the ball onto the arms of Zambrano, who was taking evasive action, to be completely honest. The referee had to go upstairs to VAR, which took quite a while for them to determine whether it was a handball or not. It was very close to the player, and in my opinion, maybe it shouldn't have been given, but with VAR being implemented, they are gonna give it, of course. So along with the penalty, Zambrano was also shown a yellow card. Up stepped Marcelo Moreno, and he dispatched to give Bolivia an early lead. After scoring, Bolivia enjoyed a lengthy spell of possession, maybe like around 10 minutes, before Peru started playing themselves back in the game once again. But when Peru turned up the heat and they applied the pressure, Bolivia stayed compact and very defiant at the back. But with Peru's unrelenting pressure, they caught the Bolivian backline high up the field, and after Saavedra gave away the ball, Christian Cueva's through ball found Paulo Guerrero in space. He ran around the goalkeeper, who I think came out too early because the defender may have provided adequate cover. Guerrero went around and he put it in from a tight angle. Peru were back level. So a string of mistakes cost Bolivia the lead. First, it was Saavedra's giveaway in the midfield, and then goalkeeper Lampe coming off his line too early, or maybe he was just too slow, couldn't get to the ball in time. In conclusion, I would say Peru won the back end of the first half, hence why they equalized. But all in all, not many chances were created by both teams in the first half, and I expected a better show in the second. Coming back for the second half, Peru continued where they left off, and after a prolonged period of pressure, Bolivia's defense cracked once again. It was Captain Guerrero delivering nicely from the left for the leaping Jefferson Farfan, whose powerful header went past the Bolivian goalkeeper to give Peru the lead. And when you look back at it, I think the Bolivian defenders could have done much better with that cross. You see how short Jefferson Farfan is, and you're gonna allow him to win a cross? Like, you're lapsing. You're definitely lapsing. After going ahead, Peru began to boss the game, and they forced Lampe into another save. But it was end-to-end stuff at that point because Moreno went forward, he got a shot off, forced a save out of Galesi, And the rebound fell nicely to Saavedra, who could have equalized for Bolivia, and he put it over the bar. Saavedra had a very, very horrible game. After Bolivia's big miss, Peru were on the prowl again. In quick succession, they forced 4 big saves out of Lampe. 4, yes. 4. It was really, really exciting stuff. Peru kept the lead going into the dying embers of the game, and Bolivia continued to commit numbers forward in order to grab an equalizer. But with them overcommitting, they were caught on the counter when Jefferson Farfan released Flores, who scored a third. And he really celebrated for that because he knows how important that goal was. A win for Peru. They went up to 4 points, and Bolivia all but knocked out of the competition. My man of the match has to go to the captain, Paulo Guerrero. He put on a better display than the one he put on versus Venezuela. So Paulo Guerrero, man, he continues to put out quality performances time after time. In terms of stats for this game, Bolivia had 7 shots at goal with 2 on target. They had 40% of the possession. They had 310 passes with a 73% pass completion. They committed 8 fouls. The stats, very, very poor by Bolivia. Very poor. As for Peru, they had 18 shots at goal, 10 on target. That's really good. 60% possession, 447 passes, 84% pass completion, 14 fouls. This was a much better performance by Peru versus Bolivia than they did against Venezuela. For Bolivia, their next game will be on Saturday, June the 22nd versus Venezuela. It's now or never for Bolivia. As for Peru, they play their biggest match in the group, and that will be versus the host Brazil. It will also be played on the same day. Remember, Brazil drew versus Venezuela, so Peru will be fancying their chances. Definitely fancying their chances against, let's say, this struggling Brazilian team. Will they flop at the 2019 Copa America? Guys, answer that question down below. Which segues nicely into the Brazil versus Venezuela fixture that ended in a 0-0 draw. VAR has to be the man of the match here. VAR, because they came to Venezuela's rescue. Including official and unofficial fixtures, this was the 26th meeting between Brazil and Venezuela. Brazil has won 21 of those fixtures, Venezuela winning 2, and 3 of those matches ending in draws, including the one yesterday. Fun fact for you guys. Fun fact. In all their 26 fixtures, Brazil has outscored Venezuela 94-13. I bet you didn't know that. Guys, share a fun fact in the comment section down below. As for Brazil, Tite chose to play a 4-2-3-1 formation. We had Alisson in goal, Dani Alves, Marquinhos, Thiago Silva, and Felipe Luis at the back. Just ahead of them, we had Casemiro and Arthur coming in for Fernandinho. Ahead of them, we had Richarlison, Philip Coutinho, and David Neres, with Firmino the lone man up top. We saw Gabriel Jesus, Fernandinho, and Everton coming off the bench. For Rafael Dudamel, he played a 4-1-4-1 formation with Farinez in goal, the very impressive Farinez, and I must make note of this. In his last 3 games, he has kept 3 clean sheets versus the USA, versus Peru, and now versus the mighty Brazil. We had Hernandez, Osorio, Villanueva, and Rosales at the back. These 4 guys should also be given a medal for keeping Brazil out, for keeping a clean sheet. Ahead of them, we had Moreno, and in the attacking positions, we had Murillo, Herrera, Thomas Rincon, and Machis, with Solomon Rondon, the lone man, up top. Coming off the bench, we saw Josef Martinez, Soltedo, and Figueira. I don't really need to refer too much to my notes to talk about this game. It was mostly about Brazil attacking, and not being able to breach this Venezuelan defense. That was the story of the entire game. Similar to how Brazil was unable to breach Bolivia's defense in the first half of that game, and when they went off, the crowd booed. The crowd did the same thing at halftime once again. Brazil were not creative enough. They weren't incisive enough. They did not execute their plans well enough, and the Venezuelans were equal to whatever they brought to them. You have to give them credit. The story of the game should not be more about Brazil not scoring, Brazil not being good enough. I think Brazil were themselves, but it was just Venezuela who had belief in themselves, who wanted this point really, really bad. And it doesn't matter whether it's Brazil, Peru, or Bolivia that they are playing. They want the points. They want to prove that they're forced to be reckoned with in South American football and one day world football. When Venezuela went forward, they also looked very, very dangerous. They kept Allison honest. Brazil no doubt bossed most of the possession, but a lot of times they were guilty of passing the ball sideways more than pushing it forward, if you understand what I mean. The only way you're gonna cut apart a team's defense, you have to push the ball forward. Passing it sideways ain't gonna do nothing. You're passing it amongst yourselves. But Brazil did have their chances to score, and whenever they did, they were not good enough. They weren't clinical enough at all. Wilker Farinez was hardly tested throughout the game, and that's poor from a Brazilian team that most of us predicted to win this tournament. In the 68th minute, Gabriel Jesus thought he had opened the scoring for Brazil, but when they went back and reviewed it, Firmino was deemed to be in an offside position when he received the ball. And what I don't like about VAR, when you celebrate, then you have to relax yourself again because you really did not score. And imagine the crowd going crazy for the goal and then they were told that it's no goal. I really don't like that about VAR. But it was the correct decision. Tite kept trying, he brought on Everton and he injected some life into the game. There was more drama, more VAR drama again when Philip Coutinho scored, and this time Firmino was in another offside position. Like, it's crazy. This one was a bit more complicated, but they don't really show us the VAR review, so we all have to assume and just trust the judgment of the referees. But Brazil just couldn't get anything past this Venezuelan defense. They were given 7 minutes of extra time and it seemed like it was 15 minutes. It was stretched to 9 and Brazil still couldn't beat Venezuela. It was a remarkable rearguard action by Venezuela. Let's just say that. I think Venezuela deserves some credit here. We shouldn't be overly critical of Brazil because if they played against a team that wasn't so compact, so well drilled defensively, they would have won the game by 5-0. But Venezuela was really, really good. And they will be fancying their chances versus Bolivia. The Peru-Brazil game will be one to look forward to though. Exciting to see how that one ends up. Brazil could miss top spot in this group. They could miss top spot in this group because if Peru pick up a victory and Brazil could actually come in third. They could actually come in third. But we don't know yet. We just have to wait. But if they continue to play the way they are playing, they will not get top spot to play one of the best third place teams. As for stats for this game, Brazil had 19 shots at goal, guys, with one single shot on target. 69% of the possession, 679 passes, passing it sideways with a 90% pass accuracy. See that? Just passing it to the guy right there. Of course you're gonna be accurate. Venezuela had 6 shots at goal, 1 on target. They weren't good going forward, but they were great in defense. 31% possession, 315 passes, 73% pass completion. They committed 18 fouls comparing to Brazil's 12, so they were physical. They were really, really physical, but you expect that when you're putting on a rearguard action. But all in all, congrats to Venezuela for picking up a point. They are a vastly improved team. As for Brazil, they need to get their act together. Maybe now we could all say that Brazil is missing their talisman, Neymar Jr. Will we see him at the tournament, sometime in the tournament? Some say he might just pop up. But again, guys, we don't know. He might just pop up. I think he will pop up. But guys, that's my review of the second round of the Group A matches for the 2019 Copa America. If you're new around here, consider hitting the subscribe button. Leave the video a big fat like. And in the comment section down below, let me know if you would love to see Neymar at the tournament. Strap up the ankle and show up for your country, Neymar. Guys, thanks for watching again, and until next time, peace out. Rich Squad.